Yes, it's another episode of your favorite webcast show, Beaver Talk. Here are the Beavers, Susan and Sandra.
Hey,
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Beaver Talk with Susan.
another episode. And I am Sandra. Sorry, I missed my cue.
We're the Beavers.
Yeah.
Now, you may not know what the definition of romance is. Everybody thinks it's just like, they just don't even put the word, they just say, I want it. You know, I'm romantic. They don't really know what it means.
Right.
Basically, it involves sexual love, a love affair, or sexual love, exciting and intense.
Yeah.
It's an expression of tender emotions, a romantic candlelit dinner for two, involving enthusiasm, adventure, and loving in sometimes extravagant and glamorizing ways.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I agree.
And I think glamour is a really good one to define romance, because basically when you're just having a romantic night out with somebody, what separates it from any other night is it's more of a glamorous evening, wouldn't you say?
Sure. Yeah, you're talking about dressing up a little bit more than you
Or
know.
just what you're doing. If it's a
Yeah.
candlelit dinner, you may be wearing nothing.
Right?
right?
That's true if it's at home.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Is there a restaurant out there right now that has where you can be a little on the skimpy side and have somebody serve you food? That would be kind of cool. Maybe that's a concept nobody's
Maybe
thought
at one of those nudist colonies. I don't know. I don't know.
There's a
Okay,
room
well,
at
many of us-
Delilah's.
Club Med
What was that?
The back two rooms at Delilah's.
at Delilah's.
They're available for you.
Really?
Oh, good
I
point.
didn't know that.
So while many of us believe that we are romantics, do we really know how to be? When we think
Ooh,
of
good
world
question.
romance, North America is not the first continent that people will talk about. Yeah, but in today's world, would you not think Italy and France?
Well, sure. But
Yeah.
they're renowned for that. It's their fashion, it's their love, it's their food, it's their wine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
they openly show emotion, whether it's anger
Yes.
or happiness. And
Yes.
that's what we lack to do here in North America.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have that
the
emotional.
PDA, public display of affection.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Right.
what you're talking about.
Like they'll linger over meals for hours, you know,
Yes.
and even if they're just with their family, it's all very emotional and very,
connected.
connected. Good word.
Yes.
Or the 2-hour cappuccinos, because what they do is they're not all about work. We're much
Right.
more career orientated, I think, in North America. And
But we don't know
probably
how to
Japan
relax.
as well.
And
No,
I
we
think,
don't.
And I think relax, that is a key ingredient to romance, is the ability to relax, the ability to cool yourself down and say, I just want to be with this person. I don't want anything else in my mind but her or him.
Yeah, and you don't see them at a coffee place sitting there with, the odd student, yes, but with the iPod,
Yeah.
you know, because what's happening is we're becoming the land of unemotional iPod, generation,
We're
right?
tuning out.
We are,
Yes.
and the one thing that they
Yeah,
do
I
over
agree.
there is they don't tune out. They talk to each other, and that's the difference.
And there is an art in talking to each other, and that is a very romantic thing, the ability for people to communicate, whether it be about literature or music or about the family. That is a really, really important romantic ingredient.
That's right.
Yes.
So, are you a romantic, Sandra?
I believe I am. I took a test online, and
We both took a test. I can't
yes,
believe that.
I don't know what test you took, and I can't remember the name of the one I took. I think the one I took was on actually a psychology website.
I don't know. Mine was probably off.
I was surfing for
Cosmopolitan or
something else about show topics, and I came across this romance thing. So I showed up at around 80% romantic. And
I
that
got
actually
87 out of
surprised me.
100.
And
it
you got
depends on-
87.
But it depends on the test. If we took the
Wow.
same one, then we could compare. But
That's
we didn't.
true.
I don't
Apples to
think.
apples or oranges. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And one of the things it said was touching moments, sweet words are all loving gestures that you love to receive as well as offer. Romance is very important to you and quite likely an aspect that you consider fundamental in your relationship.
Right.
So basically, that's kind of part of what came out of my test. Excuse me. But keep in mind, however, that problems may arise if you're with somebody who really isn't that type of romantic person, because this is probably one of the biggest continual arguments in a relationship. As long as they try to their level of comfort, that's all you can really ask romantically
Right.
from somebody. Because
Right.
otherwise, if it is that important to you that every day is got the white horse where they're galloping you off somewhere on a picnic, you know what? You're just barking up the wrong tree, and you really should remove yourself from that, because you can't change a person. They might learn to do little baby steps romantically.
Sure. And I think the difference between one relationship to another makes a difference as well. Because some people are just innately romantic, such as you and I, with our 80+ percentage rates.
Although I didn't think I was that romantic.
I didn't either. But, once
I
I
guess
started
I am.
answering the questions, I looked at that and I thought, I guess I do look at that on a more romantic level. Maybe it's something in the core of who you are that maybe you don't send out.
And maybe we appreciate some of the romance as opposed to maybe
Yes.
we're not doing it as much, but we appreciate receiving it. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe there's. I remember just dating this one fellow who was absolutely wonderful, and this is where it's too romantic for me because I don't like, as much as I'm an out there girl, I don't like public attention that's drawn to me for situations like what happened. And I was sent a beautiful bouquet of red roses, like 2 dozen. 2 dozen.
That
Think about how big
is
that is.
steamy
In a
romantic.
vase. And it was sent to the hotel. And
Yeah.
when I got there with the crew, they were there for me. And it was, as much as it was the most amazing thing somebody's done for me because of what they had to do to find the hotel, send the flowers, the expense of it
that
all.
was it wasn't the flowers, it was the fact that they went through all those steps to locate you.
But
that
what-
was the romantic.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then what happened is I came back home carrying the vase that was like this big with 2 dozen through different airports,
Yeah,
and everybody's think looks like I'm a pageant queen winner or something. And I was like so embarrassed,
Yeah.
even though I felt bad being embarrassed because look
Right.
at the gesture that was put out there.
Oh yeah. Huge.
But I was so embarrassed because the attention that was drawn on me about it.
Really?
So sometimes, yes, very much so.
See, and I wouldn't have had a problem.
No,
with that.
and a lot of
if
people
somebody had
wouldn't.
stopped me and said, "Oh, where'd you get the flowers from?" I would have told them the whole story.
I know, and I wish I could be more that way. But when
Yeah.
it becomes that public in a big group, the reason I'm bringing that up is sometimes there is a limit on how much you can do. And maybe it's good to really talk about that with somebody.
Yeah.
Or at least look
Yeah.
at your partner and see if they'd be the type that would be a little bit
Right.
uncomfortable
Because,
with
like
that.
you were saying, some people might find it very intimidating to be, say, proposed to in a restaurant, for example, because it is a public place and, the tables may be nested quite close. And if somebody says to them, "Would you marry me?" And what if your answer was no? Then how sad would that situation be? So, of course, all the ears are kind of leaning over, hoping that this woman says yes so they can all toast you and grab their wine. Oh, this is so cool. These people, they just proposed to each other.
Everybody's sitting at the
Very
table
exciting,
going,
right?
what's she going to say?
So that's kind of, you really got to know your girl before you do something like that. You really got to know your
Yep.
girl. Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. Don't, as much as we love romance and male and
Yes.
female,
There
because
is
there's
a lot
of
of place
men
for everything, and it's based on your relationship.
Yeah, like if I nowadays so many things are gender friendly as
Mm-hmm.
what you would do that if a woman sent a man 2 dozen red roses in a big vase, he might be a little uncomfortable in a public situation as well, right?
Yeah,
First of all, everyone might think he's going to sit there and think, oh great, now everybody thinks I'm gay, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of times guys
Yeah.
think that way if they get flowers, right? But anyway, romance doesn't have to be complicated or expensive, but as long as it's from the heart. And there's a few suggestions here that might help you get some romance back into your
shoot.
life, or just have it in your life if you've never had it and don't know how to do it.
Okay.
So a couple of suggestions, and Sandra's going to help me out here, but show up at their workplace and bring them lunch, or if you've been out shopping with the girls, go in and just 5 minutes and go, look what I bought, little lingerie or whatever. Give them a little taste, throw one on the desk in the drawer and leave it there for them to look at.
Yes.
And there's also
Oh, yeah. Put a note in the bathroom mirror promising to share an afternoon delight. Girls, white. Write it in lipstick. That is really cool.
lipstick's
Yeah.
always a good one. It sounds
Post-it
kind of
notes, that's
cheesy,
like
but
the best example of a use of a post-it note is to have something really sexy or
the
inviting.
briefcase or the lunch. Or,
And I have on occasions put a little love note in my husband's lunch kit. And just to make his day. Because, sometimes they're down, whatever business has got into their heads and things are in a turmoil. And that's that little
Do you still
thing.
do that?
I do it on occasion, yeah. Every
Good.
once in a while I think, okay, he's a little stressed, he's a little upset. Maybe this is a good time to just throw that little note in there. Or the other option is if you forget to do that, is to give them a quick text. So they get this text
Yeah.
message at lunch that says, "Hey,
You know
I'm
what,
thinking
you
about you, and I'm kind of hot, and hoping that something
Yeah.
exciting
Yeah,
happens when
what
I
are
get
you wearing?
home."
Yeah, exactly. Well, those are things that it's good
Yeah.
to use technology today because
Right.
you do have everything at your
yeah.
disposal. There's no
Totally
reason
use that
you,
to your
and
advantage.
text. Everyone thinks it's impersonal, but you know what?
Not
Text
when it's a hot
messages?
message.
No,
Not when
they
it's
can be
hot.
Pretty great.
Yes.
pretty great. So that's another thing to think about.
Yeah.